Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode from Making Science. I'm your host, Noelle Runo, Head of International Marketing and Communication at Making Science. Today's episode is all about how search is the new intelligence engine and what that actually means. To dive into the topic, I have the one and only Matz Lukmani, product leader at Google, and our very own Jessica Larholm, Nordic Digital Director. Welcome both.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, Matz, the title of this episode is Search as an Intelligence Engine. That sounds like a massive shift. Can you talk us through what that evolution looks like, particularly with the introduction of Gemini and AI overviews?
Yes, and it truly is a massive shift in all contexts. Search is now becoming a bit of an intelligence engine rather than what it used to be. And it kind of ends the keyword-centric search nature that was there for a lot of advertisers and brands in the space. At GML, we emphasize this massive shift. Search AI is the best thing that has ever happened to Google search. And we now are focusing on more complex, conceptual, human intent-based responses rather than kind of providing a simple list of links to walk through. And for a lot of users, the new AI is unleashing superpowers. You can ask anything. You can go and look at any information. You can take any contextual information from back in the day when it used to be just text. Now it can be really any input point and then take actions. And actions is really where the big emphasis is now. It also reduces the mental tax a lot of users had, where they had to browse through a lot of information before finding exactly what they were looking for. With things like AI overviews, that's been the big unlock. The AI-powered summaries that you get is a synthesis of all the information that we can get on a topic across web, providing direct, nuanced answers to extremely complex questions. And that's really the big change that's coming our way. It's turning curiosity into confident decisions for our users, which is a good place to be if you're in a space of helping advertisers and brands do better. So maybe a question for you, Jessica, from a marketer's perspective. What is the strategic implication of this move from simple keywords to potentially capturing fairly complex intent?
I mean, first of all, I agree on everything you said. It's a huge shift. It's amazing to be a part of it. I would say the biggest shift from our point of view is going from being channel-centric to more intent-centric. So it's not about like what strategy should we have for Google or any other platform for that matter. It's more about how do I capture intent across the entire ecosystem, basically. So we're kind of like moving from broad demographic to fueling AI algorithms with high quality and first-party data. So basically, it's not about, I mean, there could be two women at the same age searching, looking for anything within fashion and browsing the internet. But one can just be browsing and trying to get some inspiration. Meanwhile, the other one is actually closing to buy something. So there's two people with the same demographic, but if you don't have the first party data that tells you that there actually is an intent for buying, it's kind of hard to be there for the brand. So it's talking about like really fueling the AI engine with your first party data and connect the CRM signals and the purchase history to really understand like who are we supposed to target with the ads. So we're not just of course, it's always important to be there in the full funnel, but it's important definitely when the intent is closing in on actually closing the deal, basically.
That perfectly sets the stage for this next shift. So moving beyond text. So Matz, with features like circle to search and nearly 1 in 6 queries now being non-text, how is the rise of the visual and multimodal queries changing the user behavior?
Okay, that's actually a quote from our CEO, Sundar Pichai, in the last earnings call, which was very eye-opening. I'll actually just quote him here as is, multimodal search is a fundamental change in behavior. About 1 in 6 queries are non-text, which means they're either voice, humming, or a gesture like circle to search. And circle to search has really picked on. It's people using images and concepts rather than just text strings to find information. And the big reveal there is that it's very popular with young people. Who would have thought of that? If they are not with their phones, they are obviously using such features. In general, 10% of these searches are now done through circle to search settings on their phones. And it's so powerful because it's removing the friction between seeing something and then searching for it. And that's going to be the trend, trying to remove some of the blockers you have towards trying to get to an information or a concept or an action you're trying to take.
Yeah. No, I even know myself, I always do speech to text nowadays when instead of typing everything in. So the whole paradigm is moving beyond text essentially. So yes, again, what does this then mean for a brand's discoverability?
Well, basically it means it's being more findable than citable. So kind of like, as you said, Matz, we're moving from keywords to a word of concept and context. So basically, if a brand is generic, an AI agent won't be summarizing the category and basically leave the brand out. So you're not citable, basically. So the real challenge is matching the long form intent. So when a consumer asks a complex multimodal questions, whether type it, speak it, or circle an image, the brand needs to be the intelligent answer that the AI can trust enough to reference the exact moment. So yeah, really being more findable and make sure that you have the whole ecosystem in place. So you are citable or findable, basically. Matz, on the Google side, like the shifts to complex intent and multimodal queries must change the kind of content that performs. So what kind of rich, authentic context should brands be focusing on to meet these evolving user needs now that AI in search is surfacing new content formats?
Yeah, that's a brilliant question, Jessica. And that's really the big shift that a lot of brands have to get ready with. The focus has now shifted entirely to like creating rich, authentic content. This means serious investments. If you're a brand, in videos, in podcasts, even forum discussions, it's being present and giving good quality information there, because our systems essentially will resurface some of that information and learn from it to bring your presence up on our results. The common thread is authenticity and genuine value, and our systems are really designed to optimize on that and prioritize extremely unique and helpful and reliable insights for users. We've always been people-first content when it comes to results on search, and that's just going to multiply with the advent of AI. Hence, my big ask and big reveal for a lot of advertisers is to invest in content quality and variety, so you're reaching all surfaces. And to me, that'll be one of the bigger drivers of ad effectiveness if you're in the space of advertising and driving leads and revenue.
That's super interesting. And we've discussed now the strategic shift and the multimodal search and the need for new content, but how do we turn these insights into action, right? So Jessica, you manage the full ecosystem daily. How do brands operationalize the entire shift to an intelligent multimodal world and ensure that consistent brand identity at speed? It's a loaded question. But
yeah, definitely. But basically, we treat it like an orchestration. So managing the full ecosystem, including Google, is like being a translator. So you kind of like, you need to have a core brand story, of course. You need to speak Google to get it heard. And I think Google is helping out with their advertising system like AI Max and such, but you need to have applied AI on top of it to actually be first in class and being really front runner. And that's where we use our technology like Machina, our agentic AI marketing platform. Basically what it does is it translates the feed that you have and the brand's core identity to be hyper-personalized and really capture the intent that we talked about before. And being with the right content, whatever it is, if it's creative or if it's text, making sure that we are really there when the intent is there. And basically what it can do, it can handle volume and complexity in a simple way. So we have the embedded AI that's within Google, but then we have the applied AI with a Machina. So that's really how we try to solve it with a lot of our clients. It can turn a core creative into a fast-paced video for YouTube Shorts, or then a clear high-intent image for Google search, or a quality search text for Google Ads.
Amazing. And that brings us to our final thought, actually. For our listeners, what is the single most important action CMOs or performance professionals should be doing differently right now to thrive in this new AI search era? Why don't you start first, Matz?
Cool. Yeah, okay, I can give it a stab, and I'll stick to some of the messages we've covered in the podcast today, because this is a lot, and we're coming out of GML, where a lot of these call-outs and best practices were covered. So encourage you to check the readouts there. But in my humble opinion, you should really focus on quality and variety of information to unlock optimal performance. And it's important that what you're putting out there is a mix of high quality content that reaches all surfaces and all formats. So you're not missing out the opportunity of being present when a user is looking for information. When I say quantity is critical, but it's also really important to make it genuinely compelling for the user. So content should really appeal to them. Our systems, as I mentioned, it prioritizes on content's quality, how engaging it is, how helpful it is for the user. So if you are producing assets, let's say video, make sure they are relevant for all surfaces, not just a desktop, but also for a mobile or a TV screen. If building any images, make it very crisp and clear. And when it comes to messaging around text, textual information, make it very concise and to the point, aligned to what the users are looking for. That's super crucial in this day and age.
I agree. If I can follow up on that, I would say as from a marketer perspective and from an agency perspective, a lot of the discussion is with our client today is to stop separating brand and performance investments. We talked about it for a long time, but really in this instant era, every performance is a brand statement and every brand touch point is a performance opportunity. So basically you win by mastering full funnel agility and aggressively shortening the feedback loop between data insights and creative execution. So really, we talked about it a long time ago, just have one investment to be adapted.
Well, thank you so much, Matz and Jessica, for these critical insights. So to wrap up, search has evolved into a conversational intelligence engine, demanding not just new strategies, but full funnel agility and massive creative variety. Thank you so much again to both of you. This has been such an interesting talk. Join us for the next episodes where we tackle the next big challenge is how to scale how quality, authentic creative needed to power this new AI search era. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.